All right. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Tyson Eckerly. I'm the Deputy Director for Zero-Emission Vehicle Market Development at the Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development, or GoBiz. We're very excited to have you here today as we have a jam-packed agenda, really focusing in on zero-emission vehicle infrastructure to help enable the medium and heavy-duty markets, which is a huge undertaking that we're really excited about. So I wanted to start off today with three things we know. Number one is that California's goal is 100% zero emission vehicles throughout the segment. For medium and heavy duty, it's we have the 2035 target for drayage trucks and 2045 for the rest of on-road traffic. And number two is getting there will require a lot of infrastructure. And then the third thing is that success really does depend on all of us. It really is a team sport. It's not up to any one agency, any one industry group or industry participant. It really comes down to all of us to make this thing successful. And really, today, we wouldn't be here if it was easy. We're here because it is hard. And I believe we believe that it's a fully ZEV future is achievable on the timeframes that we've set out. And in many ways, it has to be. And so what I wanted to do is orient a little bit about California's ZEV strategy and what we're doing. And then we'll dig into some other stuff. So let me advance my slide here. All right. So here, really the point to drive home, and I've mentioned this before, is that ZEV market development is a team sport. And we have a very clear target set out. And thanks to Governor Newsom's leadership in September, that 100% ZEV targets. These are what we're driving towards, is everything that the state is organizing around and investing under that executive order from September. What I wanted to talk about, so in that executive order, Governor Newsom tasked the Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development, or GoBiz, to work very closely with our agency partners and industry partners and NGO partners to develop a ZEV market development strategy. And the strategy is organized around four core market pillars. You have vehicles, infrastructure, end users, and workforce. The idea being that all four of these pillars have to be in balance for the market to be successful. Those are built on a foundation of core principles, making sure that we have equity in every decision. It's embracing all ZEV pathways. So that means if it's battery electric, it means fuel cell electric, it means high-speed rail. It's solving problems together. The idea that public and private have to come together to solve these problems. And then finally, the opportunity to really design for resilience and adaptation. And all of this is supposed to feed up into our core outcomes that we're looking for, improved air quality, reduced greenhouse gas emissions, better access and options, and then importantly, economic development and jobs. And all of this feeds up into large-scale equitable market development. And so today, we're really focused in on the infrastructure piece of this, and with the core acknowledgement that we need all those pillars in balance. We have, to help orient everybody, we have this ZEV strategy website is really the tool that we're using to help pull all this stuff together. So there's four really core components we wanted to direct people to, and the link is there, and you can check it at your leisure. But the website will have all the most up-to-date information. So, progress, we're developing metrics tracking, building on the great work that already exists. We're not trying to recreate anything, but really just pull all the things under one umbrella so that it's very easy to find as an end user and stakeholder. This website hosts our ZEV strategy document, which is designed to be updated every 3 years. Has the core principles, objectives, and direction that we're going. One interesting piece is the annual state agency action plan. So we have 29 state agencies that fit underneath the ZEV strategy umbrella. Each of those agencies has an action plan, or a group of agencies has action plans that map back to their objectives to help advance the one or more of those core market development pillars. And then finally, the last thing we're working on is annual pillar priorities. So what are we doing this year to help push it out in advance? That looking across all of the market segments, across all the agency action plans. We have two components to that. There's equity, engagement, and implementation, which we're working on, and then a multi-pillar implementation framework, and those will be coming. The last thing I want to point out is that there is a sign-up box if you are interested. We call it our roll up your sleeves list to sign up for implementation updates as we push forward. And this is done all in really close collaboration with our agency partners. And so I did want to just take a step back and, kind of, so we have the ZEV strategy framework, but really kind of what is California's ZEV strategy? And, it goes back decades, really. I think it's, developing market enabling policies. It's setting clear targets, like what Governor Newsom just did. It's organizing efforts to meet those targets. It's investing, and it's problem solving, and focus on implementation. And so, if you go through those one by one, we've been developing policies for years, starting from the 90s with the zero emission vehicle regulation and leadership of CARB. We have Governor Newsom, who set the most recent targets of that 100% ZEV adoption. We have the ZEV market development strategy meant to organize collective stakeholder effort. And in the investment, we have a huge announcement with the California Comeback Plan, Governor Newsom's proposal for $3.2 billion of investment over the next 3 years to really push the market forward. And you'll be hearing more about that in the next panel. And then problem solving. So if you look at we try to get, one by one, there's both top-down policy, like that big California Comeback Plan investment, but it's also making sure that those investment dollars, both in the public and the private, result in infrastructure in the ground. So, recently at GoBiz, for example, we have a permitting guidebook for electric vehicle charging stations and for hydrogen fueling stations. We recently did a one-page addendum to help look at that specific issues that come up with medium and heavy duty as far as permitting goes. And we've got a lot of great constructive feedback from utilities and industry and local governments to help us make sure that guidance is true and helpful. We also offer, one-on-one assistance, both at GoBiz, but all the state agencies, to make sure that we are serving the industry well, serving our community partners well, and make sure we're creating as much opportunity as possible. And then we're also doing a lot on agency alignment. You'll hear more about that in the panel, but just making sure that our policies are complementary and working together. There's a lot of people working on this issue throughout the state. That's part of the ZEV strategy, is to help daylight that and make sure that we all have a clear view of the stuff that we're working on. So today, really, we'll be digging into all of it. And I wanted to look at this forum agenda, which is a really exciting, jam-packed agenda. So we have this, welcome session here. Then we're going to, dig really into the role of the state. We have our leaders from CARB, from CEC, from PUC coming up here at the kind of high level. Where are we heading? Where are we going? We're going to dig then from there into a statewide perspective, a little bit more nuts and bolts, and then we'll take a break. And we want to make sure that people understand these breaks and then to come back, because at 1 o'clock, then we'll have what we're calling the paving the way session, which is really focused on what is private industry doing. And it's very clear we need a clear partnership between private industry and public to make this all happen. We have some closing remarks from the morning and afternoon sessions, and then there is an afternoon break of 3 hours so that we can capture the speakers we need for our really community engagement, really about jobs, making sure that we're investing equitably, creating opportunities as broadly as possible. I think that's going to be a really great panel. And then we'll have some closing remarks. So we're hoping you can stay with us throughout the day, enjoy the breaks, and leverage those. And so just a couple of other things as far as housekeeping goes. There is a question and answer, a Q&A function at the bottom of your system. And then also, so please send those in, and we'll try to answer those either in the course of the panels or after the panels. Really, it's about engagement and making sure that we, as a state, are hearing from all of the stakeholders to make sure we're doing the best we can to help steer the direction. And then finally, as we prepare for the next panel, we'll be sending out a poll, just to get people started thinking, and so we can get some feedback there. And so definitely very much looking forward to the day. I'm going to hand it back over to the control room, go collect our next panel, and then we will be back shortly. And in the meantime, we'll be sending out a short poll that you can participate in, and we'll go from there.